The admirably liberal West has properly and usefully articulated a doctrine of individual rights grounded in natural law in consequence, and that has led to an era of freedom unparalleled in its productivity, generosity, and universality. But the highest ideal to which an individual might aspire cannot be grounded in an atomistic individualism, or predicated on the assumption that the highest manifestation of human striving be akin to an isolated self-actualization. Conservatives can rightly insist the highest must serve the lowest, communally, in the truly religious sense, can rightly observe that we find our very sanity in relationship to community. Conservatives can note that sanity itself, both personal and social, is something continually and inescapably negotiated. That there can simply not be the happiness or the pursuit thereof at the individual level in the absence of the optimally functioning social surround. A purely individual ethos is shallow, unsustainable, unworthy, and fragile. What do we do when our happiness vanishes? A purely individual ethos fails to provide the orientation crucial for the upward striving that constitutes hope, the integrity necessary to resist temptation, the antidote to the dangerous and narcissistic expansion of ego and presumption, or the bounds of love that support us through tribulation, trial, and tragedy. Those who uphold the conservative ethos can offer responsible stewardship as the appropriate response to the necessity of maintaining harmony in our relationship with the natural world upon which our lives ultimately depend. This is an extension of the proper canonical response to the treasures of the historical past. That which is valuable should be recognized, valued, maintained, guarded, and passed on down the generational chain. The scope of human activities has expanded in recent decades to a scale that makes of those activities a genuine planetary force. This presents us with real dangers as well as unparalleled opportunities. Panicked, apocalyptic thinking in relation to the former demoralizes, invites a careless and self-serving demonization and derogation, and justifies the kind of impulsive, incautious, reactive, global response that can easily produce unforeseen problems of the same magnitude or greater than the original problem. Thoughtful stewards of the natural world, governed by the doctrines intrinsic to the Western canon, can, as an alternative, recognize the particulars of the problems characterizing the relationship between our industrial culture and the natural world, can confidently note the fact that the human ingenuity most effectively manifested in free societies has and might endlessly and ever more efficiently continue to ameliorate poverty and rectify excessive inequality, can encourage conceptualization of the human population and its constituent individuals as a net good in the planetary context, can deliver to young people first and foremost the message that people of faith, courage, and goodwill can manage the very real problems that confront us and make the future not the apocalypse that is always threatening, but the eternally productive and abundant garden that we may all tend and inhabit. Every individual who strives upward in the optimal and socially beneficial manner deserves and must be granted the benefits attendant upon the consequences of that striving. This is the judicious and discerning recognition, rewarding, and reinforcement of productive and generous ability. This is the justice that fosters and maintains that productive generosity at the individual and the social level. This is the justice that applies discriminating attention to the endeavors and utterances of past and present and enables constant separation of wheat from chaff. This is the justice that has in the past and must continue to be in the future the irreplaceable, necessary, and corrective complement to what would otherwise be the incautious, too forgiving, and infantilizing universal compassion that too easily masquerades and demands recognition as moral virtue itself. Conservatives can rightly insist it is this true and comprehensive justice, grounded in the irreplaceable traditions of our forebears, that has been and must continue to be both available and applied equally to all citizens, regardless of birth or circumstances.